Today I'm going to be trying to put together as many Renfair outfits as I can using only the clothes that I already have on hand. So I have pulled everything from my regular daily wear wardrobe as well as from my costumes that I think can be used to make a Renfair appropriate costume. And I've also compiled a list of character or creature types that we're going to be making outfits for. So I'm going to go through that list starting with the character type that you guys most responded you like to dress up as or would like to dress up as. This is not going to be an exhaustive list of every possible outfit combination I could make. So if there are outfits that I've done in the past that fit a category, I will put them on screen as we're going through each character. If you are new here and didn't see that survey, hello, my name is Melody. I make videos about customizing your wardrobe, creating costumes, and generally just being a crafty woman. You can also find me getting up to those same nefarious activities over on Instagram. So the character type that got the most responses from you guys was some kind of fairy. Now obviously there's a million different directions we could take this in, but my immediate go-to fairy-like outfit is probably going to involve this handkerchief skirt and then this little lace top that also has a handkerchief hem. I think the double handkerchief is a nice effect. It's very, very flowy and ethereal. This is a skirt I made last year with some curtain panels, and then this is a top that I thrifted. And then let's add some accessories. Of course, add a little flower crown or some kind of ribbons. I don't know, I just feel like this needs some kind of headpiece, either some flowers or ribbons put in your hair. I just thrifted this scarf. I was gonna turn it into a shawl, but I kind of think it's too pretty to cut up or alter, so maybe this little scarf? Maybe not. I'm not really feeling the scarf, although it's very pretty. And then probably some jewelry, but I'm not gonna go too much into jewelry today, just looking at the bigger picture. So this would probably be what my go-to would be for a fairy outfit. I don't have any wings. So to compensate for that, I really want to lean into the flowy, ethereal, otherworldly beingness of the whole look. And I like that we've kind of stayed in a very muted, soft color palette. So I went with some brown boots. Probably not the best boots for this, but I like them better than my light brown beater boots. You know, actually, if I had a gladiator sandal, that might be cute. And I typically just go with boots for the Renfair anyway, because if you know, you know. Dusty, muddy, people trampling on toes. It's, yeah, just protect your toesies, okay? Option 2 for a fairy outfit. I wanted to try using my Speak Now dress that I made last August for an event locally. Even though I'm not a Swiftie, I don't know, I just needed to make a costume for this event. So here I am with a very pretty, sparkly purple outfit, and you know what? I kind of like this. I am shocked. This is way cuter over a white dress than I thought it would be. So the way that I wore it last year was that I paired it with this purple skirt underneath. Actually, let me try putting the purple over the white. Oh, actually, I do like the purple, but then the white sleeves is nice. Yeah, I think with or without the purple, it's really cute with the white dress underneath. I think adding some kind of white dress or chemise under it takes it a step away from like the glam concert outfit and more into a whimsical fairy tale type of look. So this would be what I would wear if I wanted to be a little bit more of a sparkly fairy, less of a woodland fairy and more of like, I don't know, a sparkly Barbie fairy. Boots. Let's do some boots. Do you like my compression socks? And I probably want this, maybe? Yeah, that's cute as heck. Cute as heck. Okay. Again, I don't have wings, but I feel like this still gives the impression of fairy. I would probably add a little bit more jewelry-wise, maybe some glitter in my makeup to really sell it, but here's option number 2. The last thing that I want to try for a fairy type of outfit is doing something with this shiny green dress. I don't know, something about it just says Tinkerbell to me, so let's give it a try. I don't have high hopes, but we're gonna try. That's fine. I don't love it though. It's cool, but it's not saying fairy. Okay, this isn't coming together the way I had envisioned or hoped. This clearly can pair with a couple different things on here, but it wasn't really feeling like a fairy outfit. I think I like it with the black lace tank top the most. It is feeling more like a punk fairy type of look, which is cool. Not really where I thought this would go. So let's see if we can bring this together. Let's try a belt. I guess that's fine. I don't think so. No, it's just not flowy enough for me personally, especially not having wings. Maybe if I had wings, then it would be like, okay, yeah, sure. Also, I would definitely need some bike shorts underneath this because it's quite short and very much static cling happening right now. I don't love it. I don't hate it, but it's just not quite hitting. But I almost forgot. I do have one more thing I want to include for a fairy type outfit that's more casual for those who don't want to do like a full-on outfit. This is going to be the final entry for the fairy category. I think if I wanted to do something that looked fairy-ish, Renfair-ish, but did not have it in me to do a full-on outfit or costume, this is probably what I would go with. Just a floaty, whimsical dress with some boots and the flower crown. And again, if I had wings, I would add the wings. But this to me is very Renfair costume adjacent, still fits the vibe, but is more casual for someone who doesn't want to go full out, still very comfortable, especially because it's loose here, so I can eat all the yummy Renfair food and not worry about bloating, ruining how my costume fits. So yeah, I think I would just throw on some bike shorts underneath with pockets and I'd be good to go. The next most responded category was that of an elf, and if you guys have been here for a while, you already know that this is my go-to elf costume. So I've got a long sleeve green velvet dress underneath this overdress sheer mesh thingy that is technically lingerie, I believe, but obviously I'm not using it as such. And then to pull it all together, I have it belted at the waist with the little black corset belt and then a regular black leather belt thrown on top of that. And then obviously using a set of elf ears clearly indicates to the public that you are dressed as an elf. Very easy way to signal that, whatever outfit you end up wearing. But if I wanted to do some kind of like high elf outfit, this is probably what I would go with, although it would be a little bit hot for the Renfair to wear this green velvet dress. Depending on how hot outside it was going to be, I would not wear this to the Renfair. If it was going to be a milder, cooler day, I would probably chance it, but sometimes through September and October, we get days like well above 85, still with high humidity, and then we'll randomly get days that are like 55. So if it was one of those days, then I would wear this. So if that first outfit was capturing more of a high elf type of look, I did want to also include more of a woodland elf type of look as well. That's typically what I play as. So for this, I wanted to do something that still felt kind of ethereal and regal, but a little bit more grounded, a little bit more rugged. So that is why I went with this brown lace-up split skirt that I made a couple years ago. It's not suede, but I think it kind of gives the impression of maybe being like an animal hide or something, but the shiny fabric on the ends feels a little bit more elevated, I guess. Just paired over a white skirt. And then for the top, this I really went back and forth on and struggled to pick something, but I just kept feeling like I wanted to do a lace-up front. That feels more like something that you would find on the common folk, a regular person. But then I still have the bell sleeves, which are actually rather impractical. If you've ever tried to wear them to do the dishes, you know, or gardening or anything. But hey, for an elf, they have ridiculously long hair that they don't tie back when they go into battle, so they scoff at practicality. So this is the base, and then let's add some boots and a belt. Ooh, ah. Oh, I just lost an ear. Okay, sorry, we had an ear malfunction. And then I threw on the cape just for good measure. It felt like it needed a cape. I quite like this. I think this is what I would go with for more of a wood elf type of look. And really a lot of the fairy outfits that I previously showed in the last category could also work as elf costumes if you just throw on some ears. A lot of these really come down to tweaking your accessories and the overall styling of the pieces, not so much the pieces themselves. Those are my two elf looks. The next most responded answer below elf was that of a princess. I am combining it with a queen as well, just, you know, general royalty type of outfits. So this is the option I would wear if I was going to be very on the nose about it. This is the fairy tale princess dress that I made last spring. And if you guys were here and watched that video, you might remember that I chose the worst possible fabric. So the dress is already falling apart, and because of that, I probably would not actually wear it to a Renfair. A girl can dream, but it would not survive the Renfair. It's already ripping at the seams and on the arms. It's not good. But from far away, you can't really tell. So, you know, we're just gonna pretend that this is intact. So I might go with something very obviously princessy, and then some kind of tiara or headpiece to really signal and get the point across that I am dressed as royalty. And then I just kind of went with a scarf because I thought it would be fun to have something draped about me. Just very I don't know, oh, look at me, I'm royalty. Something like that. And then for one more princess or queen option, I think I would go back to the long sleeve green dress with the mesh overlay over it, but I would not belt it. This does just feel so much like an elf outfit to me, but I think it could work for a queen or a princess outfit. Maybe if I add a scarf. Yeah. This one? Oh, this kind of mimics the yellow, but maybe this one? Ooh, yeah, this one. Okay. I don't know, man. I just feel like I need a scarf to drape around me. It's just something about the green velvet fabric that just feels very regal to me, so I think that could work for a princess outfit as well. Possibly also the Speak Now dress, the purple Speak Now dress. It's a little bit glittery, but again, it's kind of like a Barbie princess. Barbie fairy, Barbie princess, Barbie something. That I think could work as well. Anyway, here's just another option for a princess. The next category is a pirate. This has definitely become one of my favorites to dress up as, not just for the Renfair, but with my nephew as well. So to start with, I've got this crazy awesome skirt that I don't even know how I would describe it. Like linen material skirt that I thrifted last year, paired with a linen lace-up front blouse. They both feel a little bit more rugged and natural because of the natural fibers in them. And then I'm gonna add this jacket over top. This feels like a little bit military inspired because of the buttons, but again, it's mostly linen. So we've got that natural fiber look going throughout the whole outfit. I'm really going for more of like a grungy, dirty pirate and less of like the fancy gentleman Captain Hook type of look. A gentleman pirate. Let's add our belts. And if you have it, a hat. I would also add a ton more little trinkets and bits and bobs, but just for time's sake, I'm not going to do that today. And for the belts, this red one is literally just a scrap of fabric from my fabric stash that I made into like a red sash, and then a leather belt on top of that. The hat is from Amazon. Couldn't find a good one secondhand in time when I wanted to put together a pirate outfit last year. This has kind of been my go-to pirate outfit as of late. I could also do a variation using these cargo pants. They have like a jogger fit at the bottom that puffs out a little bit when I wear them tucked into boots. That's an option that I could do if I wanted the outfit to feel a little bit more masculine. The question is, do I really want to put together another pirate outfit? Not really. I really don't. This is my go-to right now. Yeah. Okay. Pirate. Next up is a mermaid or a siren. Now I do have an actual Disney Little Mermaid costume, but that's not quite what we're going for. I do want to go more with like a mythological siren, thinking more like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou type of look. So this is a dress that I thrift flipped last summer to wear at the beach and just wanted to do like a fun little photo shoot with it. I just wanted to create something a little bit more ethereal and flowy. I do, however, want to still add more fabric draping to it, especially around the bottom half. It's just a little bit scant. So I took this very, very faint blue scarf and I have strategically pulled it across myself so it's just twisted around the back. So I think I'm going to try adding a belt on top of that and see if that pulls it all together. Okay, that's actually not bad. I think this works. And then it's just kind of like, I don't know, how does it look in the back? Actually, that's fine. Yeah, that'll do. I like the floaty airiness of it. Obviously, the black boots are not the best choice. I think I would go with a gladiator sandal if I had one. Oh, I do have a piece of sea glass somewhere. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna go looking for that right now. But here's a siren outfit. And then I have one more in this category that I want to try. The second iteration of a siren that I wanted to try is based on one of your suggestions, which was a forest pond siren. Immediately what comes to mind is a rather stagnant, very algae-filled little pond. So I kind of wanted to evoke that feeling with the clothing that I chose, but it's kind of just feeling more bog witch rather than forest pond siren, given a little bit of Baba Yaga. I think it's too many layers. I think we need to lose the arm thingies. I really like the scarf. Maybe if I lose the cardigan? I feel like that's a little bit better. It just feels lighter. As much as I liked everything together, like I said, it was more bog witch, not so much siren, which is a whole look. That's a whole look in and of itself. But I feel like this maybe fits the criteria a little more. Although really, it's just very grunge. Ye old pandemic aesthetics. So anyway, here's my attempt at forest pond siren. I hope it's acceptable. Okay, this next category is definitely very far out of my wheelhouse, but one of you replied that you have wanted to try an orc or a barbarian type of outfit. Again, this is nothing that I have ever tried to put together before, but I thought might as well try. This is definitely going to turn out more barbarian than orc, just based on what I have on hand. So I'm thinking browns and earthy tones, anything that looks kind of like an animal skin. Maybe we'll try this skirt with the lace-up black boots. That's not too bad for a start. Okay, let's add some belts and then maybe this fur shawl. Okay, yeah, the belts are not bad. I think if I had time, I would try to make some little bracers with some scrap leather that I have, some scrap faux leather, but I don't have time for that today. So let's try maybe these. I feel like it needs something on the arms, you know? Just pretend that they're leather or fur or something more threatening. These are actually my old socks. Then let's add this fur shawl. I actually bought this years ago intending to wear it for my wedding and then ended up not using it, but I'm glad I kept it because it's pretty cool. Okay, this is actually way better than I thought it would turn out. Yeah, that's not bad. It definitely looks kind of warrior-ish. Okay, I'm not mad at this. So there you go. There's kind of a very simple thrown together barbarian kind of outfit. Okay, hold up. Before we move on to the next one, I played around with how I was using the fur shawl a little bit, and I think I found something that works even better. Kind of like with the siren outfit, draping it across myself diagonally and then tucking it into the belt. I really like that because then also I don't have to like keep hoisting it up onto my shoulders. So I don't have it tucked at the back right now. But yeah, if I just loosened the belt and then tucked it in across myself, I love it. Okay, cool. One of my personal favorite things to dress as is a Druid, particularly on very, very hot days. This has been my go-to Renfair dress. I think I've used it 3 times at least for different Renfairs because it is pretty lightweight and breezy. I do use fashion tape here to hold everything in place. And then on top of that, at the waist, I have my black corset belt. And then I am going to add another little rope belt on top of that. For my hair, I did make a pair of antlers this past year that I really loved wearing, but before, when I didn't have the antlers, I wore this in my hair. My husband 3D printed this for me a couple years ago. Generally, I accessorize with anything that just feels kind of earthy and disheveled, bones, things like that. So let me add a few more accessories and show you the full look. This is a rope belt that I made braiding together some macrame cord that I had, and then it's attached to a bangle bracelet that I thrifted. I didn't use arm warmers like this. I think I had just some scraps of black shredded fabric ribbon and I just twisted those around my hands and I thought it looked pretty cool. So I'm doing these as a stand-in for now. And then maybe I would go with something like this as well if I wanted just some extra fabric. Ooh, I quite like that. Okay, I like that together. I like this gray and this green. I almost didn't buy this scarf at the thrift store. I almost didn't get it and I'm glad I did. Yeah, just a very like earthy woodland spirit kind of look, especially with the antlers. You really could like swap the antlers for the elf ears or a pair of fairy wings and make it like a grungy forest fairy. This is kind of a basic baseline outfit that you could do a lot of different things with depending on what direction you want to take it and again with how you accessorize it. This past year when I was wearing this outfit with the antlers, I kept accidentally making eye contact with the same guy over and over again who was also wearing antlers. And it wasn't like in a flirty way. It was just like every time I looked over in that direction, we would lock eyes. And I was like, oh, this is weird. The antler connection is a little bit much. I don't know what to do with this. Shout out, antler guy. Using this same dress, I could also do something more like the bog witch outfit that I had earlier. I think that could be kind of druidy as well. Or I might use the ocean siren dress that I showed earlier if I wanted to go more in the direction of the druids from Outlander, the ones that dance around the stone circle. I just feel like I would want like a hood and a torch. So there's a couple different directions I could go with this, but this is definitely one of my favorite dresses to use for Renfair outfits. And we can't have a Renfair outfits video without, of course, including the humble Hobbit. So this is like a really basic, more masculine Hobbit outfit if I wanted to go that direction. I can't bring myself to part with these corduroy pants, even though I never wear them. There's just a lot of gap back here, so they're not that comfortable, but I can't bring myself to part with them because they are the quintessential Hobbit pant. A corduroy pant will take you far if you're trying to look like a Hobbit. And then again, I do have the lace-up front linen blouse. Again, we want to lean into like earthy colors and natural fibers as far as the texture of things. And then of course a vest, because Hobbits are basically just like little Englishmen with bare feet. I do actually have suspenders on underneath. I had to try it out and I was cracking myself up because I just look like one of the Lumineers. You could instead opt for a pair of trousers and make it like a slightly more cleaned up professorly look, but having clothes that look like you've routinely gardened in them is probably gonna get you closer to the Hobbity kind of look, but these will work as well, some trousers. Oh, and of course, again, the ears. The ears are gonna really sell it. I actually prefer this type more than the ones that just hook over your ears. Yeah, this is the type that you use glue to attach, and it usually will get you through the day. I find it much less irritating than the kind that hooks on your ear. I forgot to mention with the last one that although Hobbits are barefoot, I would not be walking around barefoot at the Renfair. I don't think you're allowed to anyway, but I would either go with boots or some kind of sandal if I wanted my feet still exposed for whatever reason. You would think that goes without saying, but you never know. For more of a lady Hobbit type of look, I went with this blouse that kind of looks like a chemise the way it gathers at the neckline, and then underneath this brown skirt I do just have a white skirt, again kind of acting as a petticoat, and then a cotton brown skirt on top with this little lace-up corset top. It's not a dirndl, but it looks like a dirndl, and I feel like that's generally a good direction to go when you're looking for a Hobbit type of look. Oh, I forgot my ears again. Hold on. My right ear is not cooperating, but we gotta move on. But basically with the feminine Hobbit outfits, I feel like a lot of them kind of look like what you might see at Oktoberfest. Less so in the German heritage and more just in the silhouette and the style. The bodice top over the chemise with a long skirt. And if you don't have a chemise, as I'm doing right now, a blouse and a skirt together works just fine. I think I could also use something like this little black tank top over as well if you don't have an actual corset top. Just a tank top will work as well. As long as it has slightly thicker straps, like not a true spaghetti strap, then that will kind of get the point across and then you can belt it at the waist. I could also swap out this top for something with more of a puff sleeve if I wanted something a little more cutesy. This type of look is very easy to recreate. It's a pretty basic silhouette that's easy to recreate with a lot of different options of clothing, and really what's going to make it look like a Hobbit is how you style it and also the ears. The colors you go with, how you style it, and the ears. And though I have not had the chance yet myself to wear a witchy kind of outfit to the Renfair, that is another category I did want to touch on. So again, I could do something like the bog witch type of look that I have already shown, already mentioned, or I could go with something a little bit more cliche, I guess. So here I just have a dress with the handkerchief hem and the bell sleeve. It's that very like cartoon witch type of silhouette, but I think it's fun. Again, we're wearing boots, and then I would accessorize with all kinds of necklaces and rings, different crystals and bones and whatever bits and bobs I can find to add to it. I did try putting my hair up with this little thing. I don't actually know how it looks because I didn't get a chance to look at the back of my head, but I felt like it fit. And then just because I'm gonna drape a scarf over myself because it looks very mysterious. It looks like I know things, and I do know things. Next, I'm gonna just speed run some outfits, seeing what I can put together from what I have left over on this clothing rack. So I'm gonna speed run those and see what we can come up with, and we'll just see what there is. This speed round consists mostly of what I'd consider generic person outfits, although you could dress them up to read more as a ranger, as a bar wench, etc., or just embrace your peasant status. This first one that just kind of looks like Gaston is a more masculine option, layering a long tunic top over some cargo pants, and of course, belted at the waist. This is probably the normcore of masculine Renfair outfits. This orange dress that I altered last year also works pretty well for more casual Renfair looks if you don't want all the bells and whistles. I usually just pair it with boots and a belt at the waist, but I'm actually quite liking the green mossy cardigan with it. Moving into bar wench territory, here's an example of an outfit using that black tank top I showed before, which works as a perfect stand-in for a corset top when layered over a longer dress and belted at the waist. The Maryland Renfair has a Celtic weekend every year, which would be the perfect occasion for me to break out this kilt skirt. I always love seeing everyone donning their kilts. I paired it with the lace-up linen blouse and a wide leather belt for a more rugged look. I'll end with this very simple outfit, as this is the only fantasy fashion item I have that I went out of my way to get and spent a lot of money on. Usually I thrift or make things myself, but this overdress is from Holy Clothing. The fit is a bit too big even with it layered, but I still love the color and the feel of the fabric. So I think this is where I'm going to stop because I have been filming for hours and I need to stop. I need to go outside. And at this point, everything that's left on the rack here is really just my basic layering pieces that can be combined so many different ways that I could never exhaust the possibilities. And you know, I think I might just keep this on as my outfit for the rest of the day. Why not? So I really hope that this was helpful for you guys if you've needed some ideas for your Renfair outfits for this season. And even though I don't do Renfair type of videos super frequently, I've noticed that I do maybe 2 or 3 every year, whether it's long form or shorts, so I'll probably compile them into a playlist for you guys because I'm starting to grow a bit of a collection. Anyway, thank you guys so much for sticking around. If you've made it to the end of this video, leave an elf emoji down in the comments. And thank you again for hanging out with me today. Make sure that you subscribe if you would like to hang out again. Okay, all right, I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go frolic. It's beautiful outside today. Okay, goodbye. See ya. Get out of here.
Carnage. Absolute carnage.
Oh, I forgot my ears. Hoi, oi, 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 oi.